How to build a 3-bedroom bungalow in Lagos, Nigeria. 2025 cost breakdown. This detailed cost is tailored for a standard, budget-friendly, yet solid 3-bedroom bungalow in Lagos. We are building from the scratch, although the price does not include land costs. So, how much will it really cost you to build a standard 3-bedroom bungalow from scratch in 2025? Forget about the luxurious marble and high-end smart homes. We are focusing on a good, durable, and affordable build, the kind that most middle class can easily afford. So, since we are stripping out the land cost, this is strictly for construction, materials, and labor. Sorry, the light is entering my eyes. I'm Bisola, a lead consultant at ABC Trust, and I help Nigerians at home and in the diaspora to invest safely and confidently in the real estate market. If this is the first time I popped up on your screen, do well to subscribe to my channel because I always post useful real estate related content just like this one, and make sure you watch this video to the end so that you can get the full value. Now let's get straight into it. Based on the current volatility in Lagos market, our estimated budget for a standard 3-bedroom bungalow will surprise you to get it to a habitable finished state. But before we do the numbers, let's talk about the most crucial advice, the things that will save you stress, prevent structural collapse, and keep you within that tight budget. I am talking about the real world strategy. 7 critical things to bear in mind when building a 3-bedroom bungalow in Lagos. Number 1, the foundation is non-negotiable. You have to start right. Forget what your bricklayer think they know. Do a soil test, aka geotechnical survey. Lagos soil is highly unpredictable. A soil test can cost you between 300k to 500k, but it can save you tens of millions in foundation failure. If your soil is firm, also known as laterite, a simple strip or pad foundation is cost effective for a bungalow. If it is notorious soft, swampy Lagos soil, you might need a raft foundation to spread the load, which is significantly more expensive but never compromise here. You need to master the bill of quantities as well, which is tip number 2, your BOQ and procurement. Your budget is a living document and the BOQ is the soul. If you want to stay standard and control the budget, you must handle your procurement properly. Contractors often mark up materials, so make sure you buy your cement, rods, and sand directly from a major supplier or a good distributor, not just a roadside anyhow vendor. You have to remember the cement man rule as well, which means never buy too many bags of cement at once because it can harden if it stays too long. You should buy in batches as needed for each phase: foundation, block work, plastering, and ensure that it is fresh. But you can buy bulk for stability. You can buy bulk items like iron rods and granites when the price is relatively stable, as we all know these are subject to wild forex fluctuations. So, tip number 3, you have to say no to substandard materials. It is a trap. The biggest mistake a budget builder make is using cheap, weak material to save money now when you are going to spend 10x more later on repairs. And number 4, get your documentation right if you want to avoid demolition. In Lagos, the State Building Control Agency, LASCA, and Physical Planning Authority, LASPA, they don't play around. Ensure your architect and town planner secure your building plan approval before you lay a single block. Building without a permit risk all these stop work orders, heavy fines, and even demolition. So you have to factor these costs right from start. Make sure your land has a proper registered survey plan with clearly marked beacons. And tip number 5, hire professionals, not just guys. Hiring the cheapest labor can be the most expensive mistake you are going to make when building. Even for a simple bungalow, you need a professional structural engineer to calculate the load and design the foundation, the columns. Make sure you are on site regularly or use a project supervisor. The person who pays attention to the mix ratio is the one who saves money. And number 6, make sure you design for maintenance and utility. A standard bungalow should be simple, functional, and easy to maintain. Simplicity is key. So avoid complex roof designs and avoid unnecessary curves, balconies, or large overhangs. Complexity adds cost to materials, labor and maintenance. Then factor the cost of a proper septic system. In many Lagos areas, you can't rely on a municipal sewage system. And tip number 7, which is very important, always include a contingency fund. We all know the current economic volatility in Nigeria. Material prices can change weekly. Budget about 10 to 15 extra. When the price of cement jumps suddenly, you don't want your site to be idle, as a stored project will always cost more than what you even want to start with. So you have to stick to these 7 principles, and you will stay within your standard budget for your bungalow, and you will also build a house that will last for generations. Now, how much will it really cost you to build a standard 3-bedroom bungalow from scratch in 2025? Let's break it down stage by stage. For the first one, which is the foundation, the base, this is the most critical stage and you must not compromise here. The cost depends heavily on your soil type actually. Assuming a relatively stable soil in the typical Lagos, excavation and site preparation, which includes site clearance, leveling and digging trenches, can not cost you more than 500,000. Now for laterite filling, you might need 5 to 8 tipper loads for backfilling after laying foundation blocks. Assuming a tipper load costs 150,000, you can budget about 1.2 million for that. And you also need sharp sand, which you can budget about 5 to 6 tipper loads. That will be used for your concrete mixing and block laying. A budget of 180,000 per load should be enough. You will need a granite stone about 3 to 4 inches for hardcore and concrete in the foundation. 2 to 3 tipper loads will be okay. You can budget about 1.1 million. You need like 50 kg cement, about 100 to 150 bags for blinding, concrete and block laying up to DPC level. If we inflate the price a bit, you can budget like 1.2 million. And of course, you need iron rods. That's for your concrete pillars and beams if you are using a ring beam or a strip foundation. Say about, let's say, 3 million budget. And they will also do the formwork, timber and nails, that is planks and wood for casting the concrete. You can budget like 600,000. Now labor, those who are going to do the foundation work, that's from excavation to concrete mixing, steel fixing and block work, all this phase or the foundation phase, you can budget a total of, let's say, from 11 million to 13 million. Now for phase 2, which is the superstructure and roofing, aka the carcass, this is where the structure comes out of the ground. You need blocks for load bearing and partitioning of walls. You might need about 4,000 to 5,000 pieces, let's say 9 inches and 6 inches. You can budget like 600 naira for 9 inches and like 550 naira for 6 inches. So for that, you can budget a total of 2.7 million. And you also need cement for mortar, columns and lintel. Let us budget like 1.6 for like 120 bags. You need plastering sand, let's say 3 tipper loads at 180,000 for the German floor and wall plastering, let's say like 540,000 naira. Then there's the roofing wood or timber rafters, purlins, etc., like 2 million naira. Standard aluminium roofing using the most affordable thickness and profile, like 250 to 350 square meters, about 0.445 mm at 4,500 per square meters. That's a total of about 1.5 million. Now, if you want to factor the labor into consideration for the lintel, block laying, column casting and plastering, labor costs for roofing, the carpentry, installation of aluminium sheets and everything inclusive, for the total for this phase 2, which is the carcass and roofing, we will budget about 11 to 14 million as well for the rough estimate. Now moving on to phase 3, which is the finishing and services, that's the interior. And trust me, this is the largest variable, and this is where standard truly comes into play. We are assuming local products, basic aesthetic and essential installation for this. Let's assume windows as basic aluminium sliding, about 12 to 15 pieces, medium size, standard profile. um let's say EBM, for example, doors, security flush door for external, security door for internal, flush doors. We are also going to put plumbing into consideration, the pipes, the fittings, the fixtures, basic PVC pipes, two toilets, a kitchen sink, and other fittings like, let's say, bath, for example. Then the electrical fittings, wiring, conduit, sockets, standard quality wires, basic sockets and switches. That is if you are not doing panic buying. That one alone will cost about 1.8 million though. It's really drizzling right now, but show must go on. Now for floor tiles, standard ceramic about 40 by 40 or 60 by 60. That's 150 to 200 square meters at 4,500 naira per square meters. That's like 900,000. And basic, that's a basic Nigerian or let's say imported ceramic porcelain tiles. So for the ceiling, we might consider the PVC or plasterboard. The PVC ceiling for affordability or basic POP. Let's say 800,000 naira. You also need paints. Let's say a standard emulsion or textured paints, about 5 to 7 buckets. Good quality, non-luxury exterior and interior emulsion paints. You will need the kitchen cabinets, wardrobes, budget friendly local wood or marine board for the entire finishing, and including the labor for the entire finishing. That's including the piling, installation of doors, windows, electrical or plumbing labor, everything. Total cost also about 11 to 40 million, rough estimates. And for the last phase, which is the phase 4, preliminary and external works, architectural or structural fees, that is for designs, drawing and supervision, let's say about 800,000, could be higher, but let's leave it at that. Permits and approval government fees, which varies depending on the local government area. Let's budget 500,000 as well. The septic tank and soak away, one set digging, concrete work and materials, let's say about 1.2 million naira. Then the external paving stones or simple gates, interlock stone for a basic iron gate, let's say everything for this stage, a total of 4.5 million naira. So now the grand total estimate of everything, excluding land and also factoring contingency of about 10% into consideration, because we shouldn't forget the Nigerian factor. So, and that is the major reason I inflated the cement cost a bit. So we should be looking at a total of 40 points, about 40,700,000 to 50,600,000. So if we want to round it up, we can round it up everything for like 60 million. So if you are using this analysis, the most realistic figure for a fully finished, safe and durable standard 3-bedroom bungalow today is between 40 million and 50 million. Anything less will require you to cut corners on quality, which is not recommendable. But before you go, how much is a plot of land in Lagos so that you can know the total cost? Let's use Ibeju-Lekki, a growing part of Lagos, for example. The best part of Ibeju-Lekki, not far from the main express, is around 25 million to 30 million. This means that you should budget about 90 million for everything. But what if I told you you can actually get a modern, luxurious 3-bedroom bungalow with a swimming pool for 76 million in Lekki Avana phase 2? Don't forget the analysis we did is for just a standard 3-bedroom bungalow. Now, Lekki Avana phase 2 bungalow is offering you 76 million for a luxurious one with a swimming pool, because we are building in bulk in this estate at the moment, and it is a lot. And because it is off plan, investors can key in with 5 million naira before construction finishes. The estate is government allocated, and you can reach out to me for inquiries because it is raining right now. Thank you for watching this video to the end, and I hope you learned something. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comment section. I remain Bisola. I help Nigerians at home and in diaspora to invest safely and confidently in the real estate market. I'll see you around.